So yeah, how I met Justin Timberlake. It's a long story. I used to work for a limousine company back in the days in New York. It was called OJ's. This is before Uber. Same situation. We have to call a number and tell a person where you was at, and they'll tell a driver, what you had on, meet up with you, take you to the location, pay. Same thing like Uber. It was our idea over 20 minutes ago. I got a call one day and say, hey, I need you to pick up someone downtown. And I didn't usually do like downtown runs and stuff like that. But the owner of the company said, Mark, please do this for me. It's one of my friends that I know. I said, all right, I'll go do it. So I wound up going to do it, and I picked up these two guys. They're like, we're going to Brooklyn. Another thing is this. Back in the days, if you're from the Bronx, you don't really go hang out in Brooklyn. If you're from Brooklyn, you don't really hang out in the Bronx, Queens, different places. And I'm like, I can't take it. I don't even know these guys. I said, you know what? Let me take these guys anyway. It was two big, old, gigantic dudes. Let me take them to Brooklyn. And it's like, well, we need you to hang here with us. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I have nothing to do. I wound up hanging there, and long story short, they wound up being security guards for NSYNC. And they loved my truck so much because back then I had 5 TVs in my truck. I had one in every headrest, also one that came down. I had a video. I think it was PlayStation. So back then, we should just put on a PlayStation at nighttime, and then when I drive by, all you see is the inside of the car lighting up with TVs, and I had 415s in the back, and you opened it up, it lit up. So when they finally got in my truck, they was like, we love this truck. So they was like, we gotta have the boys get in the show. No, it's the boys. I'm like, who's the boys? So they called me back a few days later, came, hung out with them, and they said, hey, you picking up NSYNC? I didn't know who the hell NSYNC was. I'm like, okay. That's fine. How many hours you guys need me for? So long story short, the guys came down, and it was actually Joey first that I was driving for. And Joey fell in love with the truck. They used to make me do different things like, Mark, go around this neighborhood and show off. Just turn it up. And I would go and crank up that bass. And I'm talking about it was so loud. And also I had a train horn on my truck. So when you press the train on, it had a compressor on the train. And I'm talking about the bass just from this horn alone. Scared everything out of you. So I used to just play around whenever. And then one day we came downstairs, and then Justin came out, and he was like, I've been meaning to get inside this truck, like hearing everybody talk about it. And he got in there and fell in love. And long story short, I turned into his driver. Went from there to them stop using different people to drive them around. So I would go everywhere with them. And then I started tour with them, but I was just their driver. And it's crazy because even saying that, when Justin used to get in the car, I used to play mixtapes for him, like mixtapes with a bunch of different people. I remember one of my friends said Smooth doing a different blend for me that had, I think, Justin and 50 on there. I let them hear that for the first time. It bugged Justin out. This is really, really deep with this. But anyway, we started getting really cool with them, and then they said, hey, you want to come out to California and drive us? I said, hey, I ain't never been, but what you guys need me to do? They said, same thing. Get to the whatever city, make sure you know where the studios are at, the, hospitals, all the fast foods, just know where everything's at. So they would send me into these cities days before they get there. So they sent me to California. I came out here, and they left me out here for like a week by myself. I was literally in the Beverly Hills Hotel for a week by myself because they had to go to another location. So when he finally got out here, after we wound up finishing the album, and that took about a good year and a half or so. But it was the same situation. I would go to different places. I remember we was recording in Virginia with Pharrell, and flew down there. Same situation. I had to make sure I know where the studios was at, all the routes, everywhere to go. And me, I'm a fast learner. I learned that in one day, Shout out to Eric Burrows. That's one of the people that actually helped me out. Big Mike. Rest of the crew, shout out to you guys. But yeah, that's how I came to California. I could sit here for hours and hours and talk about this. It's so much. But anyway, after a while, me and Justin got so cool, and they wound up saying, Marv, you want to just stay out here? And I wound up moving out here, opening my limousine business out here, started my DJing out here. Well, continued DJing. I was DJing in New York as well, and went from there with it. When it started, shout out to DJ EQ. She's the one that actually put me onto one of my first clubs here. And ever since then, it took off. She invited me out on a Sunday night. I came down, hung out with her. DJ the next week with her, and after that, me and her was the resident DJs over there, and it went from there. People loving my style and how different my style was, and me talking on the mic and be able to interact with the crowd at the same time, and the crowd interact with me. People loved it. Club owners loved it. Promoters loved it. Bottle buyers loved it because I always brought a lot of great energy. Of course, you're in a nightclub, you want great energy is what you want. You don't want to come to a nightclub and sit down or get dressed really nice just to look at each other. No, you want to come party, sweat your hair out, shirt soaking wet. I've had so many people come up to me and shake my hands like, thank you. I haven't danced in so long. Thank you. So, yeah, it went from there. After that, went to the moon. I met Kevin Hart. I met Prince, worked with Prince, worked with Kevin, toured with Prince, toured with Kevin, worked with Tank. So many different names. Prince, okay. I got a million stories I could tell you about Prince, but I'm going to tell you the funniest one. But when I first started working with Prince, I was told by his team, Prince only works with his crew for 3 years. After that, he switches everyone out. That's just the way he is. Now, in my career, I understand why he does that. Working with Prince, when someone called me and asked me, say, hey, Mark, I need you to come DJ for Prince. And I'm like, I've never been a starstruck person. So I'm like, oh, okay, Prince. All right, when I'm going to play for Prince. You know, and another thing I was told, I had to wear a suit while I was DJing. I'm like, a suit? And that's just the way he wanted things. You have to be in a suit. You have to be dressed correctly around him. I learned a lot from Prince. That's before I get into the story I'm going to tell you guys. So that's first things first. The first year I DJed for Prince, he didn't say one word to me. Not hello, thank you, Mark, thanks for DJing, nothing. Walked right by you like he wasn't even there. Then one day out the blue, I was at his house DJing a party for him, and he walked up to me and he said, I didn't even know he knew my name. He said, hey, Mark, and I looked and I'm like, this feeling like something. He said, you're playing that song a little too fast, Mark. I need you to just slow it down just a little bit. I'm like, okay. And I slowed it down. Ever since then, I could not get him shut up. I'm going to say it that way, but it was, our relationship got much more closer, and then we would talk to each other more. But the first year, wouldn't say anything to me. Second, yes, you had to wear a suit while you was around Prince DJing. The only times I would get away with not wearing a suit is like, if you would call me after 2 a.m., which is the Chronicles, right? That's part of my Chronicles. After 2 a.m., you know, Prince would like to go out to different venues, but he didn't want to party with a million people, basically. He wanted his own entire space, but he wanted to be in a club. Because that's one thing I say about Prince is he loves his music. He loves it. Even all the years I've been DJing for him, I didn't think he was really listening to me. He listened to me. You know, he came and he told me, he said, I love the way you mix. I love the way you blend. Just slow that one song down, and that's how a talking relationship be done. And again, after, years went by, you know, he would always call me just to go and hang out in the club after 2 a.m. Never during the club hours. It was always after club hours. And we did that for about a good 3-4 years. And after that, we all know, rest in peace, P. You said relationships. Relationships is really, really important. Relationships can take you very far. But as a new person, don't feel like that's going to hold you back from anything. Don't let anything hold you back, especially something like that, because not everybody has relationships, but it was always great to build them when you can, especially with the type of person, you know, you're dealing with, or the industry you're in, as I should say, because this relates to so many different industries. I remember I was on stage one time. I was in Iraq, by the way, performing for the troops. And I remember my laptop completely froze on me in the middle of the show. Great thing, as most DJs will tell you, it's a good thing to have a backup. Have something on a flash drive, or if you have another laptop, it's great. Not everybody do, but at least have something on a flash drive. And I did have a flash drive backup with like the shows and everything on it, so it saved me. But if I didn't have that, it would probably have been. Now or 15 years ago? Well, when I'm not DJing, I'm at home with my wife and my dog, honestly. I like to stay in the house. Ever since COVID hit and the house thing started, I fell in love with staying in the house. Hanging with my wife and my dog. Right now, I'm definitely working with 50 Cent now. Shout out to 50. And Branson. This is our cognac right here. And also our champagne. That's definitely the newest thing I'm doing now. I'm actually about to open up my own restaurant as well, too. Actually, a chain of them. I can't release it yet, but that's definitely happening soon, very soon. Besides that, a bunch of shows coming up different places. I have Bangkok coming up. I have Vegas. I do once a month, and then all my other residential. As far as new artists, I'm be honest, there's so many new artists coming out every day. It's hard to keep up with them. I'm just gonna be honest. The new trend of music, if you ask a person like me from the birthplace of hip hop, I'm not 100% with it. And the reason why I say is because I like people to be original. And when you're taking somebody else's hit song that they already made a hit, for you to make another hit off the same song, same beat, to me, that's not being creative at all. You know, I'm not going to take a Tupac song that I know that went triple platinum and then redo that same Tupac song for it to try and go triple platinum. To me, that doesn't make sense. I like things to be creative. You know, be creative with your craft. Artists I do like, one of my favorite artists is Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne is definitely one of my favorite. 50 Cent, definitely one of my favorite artists. So right now, those are my two favorite artists. Different things. I like to test out other people's stuff that makes sense. I mean, I go buy me a million Gucci sweaters and stuff like that, but yeah, I'd rather give somebody else a try, like this company right here. This is my homegirl right here, this sub company. Add her on this as well too, so you guys can see it. But she makes some incredible stuff, from shirts to sneakers. She's really, really incredible with that. So I like to wear, as I should say, different brands. Not so much of the expensive brands. I don't really care for that too much. I'd rather help somebody else blow up. If I know this was your brand and you blew up, I know I wore it. You know, Gucci already blown up, Prada already blown up, Chanel already up. Like, nightlife, big difference. It's a big difference. I can't really compare them to. I would say, because it's almost two different worlds. You know, out here we close at 2 a.m. In New York, it's to 5 a.m. Sometimes 6. You know, so I can't really compare them. And another thing, in New York, I feel like, how should I say it? The crowd is more, I would say more energetic, depending on the places you're at. Because growing up in New York, people party. They actually danced. They partied. They jumped on things. They turned up. They went. Here, people getting dressed up in their nice clothes. They don't want to sweat, so they're not going to move too much. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit different. That's one. Two is, again, the timing. You know, here you have to go out at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. In New York, you're not going out until 1:30 in the morning. You know, even 1 o'clock. At least, you know, if you get there at 1:30, you're there until 4 o'clock. Here, you get there at 1, you know, you only have 45 minutes to an hour max, you know. So it's a big difference. That's just starting off there. It's a big difference, yeah. I would say, but I love both places. I'm now part of Cali. I've been here 22 years, 23 years. So I'm like Cali and NY to Cali, if that makes sense. I still got my accent.
All right. That's good. You got anything?